We do things to make an impact. In order to make that impact in whichever career we choose, we need to set goals, align our work accordingly, and evaluate our progress. This is how scientists do science, legislators legislate, and teachers teach.
When you're embarking on a teaching endeavor, you should think about what your goal is for your audience. What do you want your audience or learners or mentees or colleagues to know? What do you want them to be able to do? How do you want them to feel? The answers might depend on what you know about your audience's prior experiences and expectations. It's important to consider these questions before we think about the content and the approach we take to sharing that content. We often call these learning objectives, which are statements about your goals for the activity.
And it's also useful to think about what success might look like for someone who reaches this goal. For example, should they be able to summarize the content or apply and transfer it to new settings? Knowing what we expect of our audience can guide the choices we make.
Then we might consider how we would know whether our audience achieves our objectives. There's not always an opportunity to formally assess learning in every context, but even building in opportunities for informal feedback from your audience can help gauge whether you are getting your message across.
This concept of starting from your learning objectives and aligning your instruction accordingly is called backward design when we apply it in a classroom setting. But the idea also applies to any kind of outcomes-based design or quality improvement activity in other sectors.
For example, patient-centered outcomes-based research, or PCOR, is a framework for goal-driven healthcare practice and research. Importantly, this framework centers the patient's goals and experiences to make healthcare more inclusive by inviting patients to actively participate in their care.
Just as PCOR supports a more patient-centered approach in healthcare, research in teaching and learning also shows the benefits of student-centered learning experiences in the classroom, research mentoring spaces, and other contexts. Next, we're going to share how to use evidence-based approaches to design teaching activities that are aligned with your goals.
So let's talk about how people learn. What we know from education research is that people learn most effectively when they are active in the process of creating their own understanding. Earlier in this module, our colleagues referred to this idea as social constructivism. The term active learning is then used to describe practices and techniques that serve to engage learners in this way. This is a large and active area of research and teaching practice. We'll share some resources for you to explore after this video.
Working together to learn or develop something is often a hallmark of active learning. When problems are complex and important, teams of people with diverse perspectives, knowledge, and experiences can spark creative solutions. Just as there are teams in the workplace, there are teams in the classroom. In both cases, effective collaboration is essential to the success of the team.
Many of us have feelings based on our previous experiences doing group work. As educators in any context, we need to be intentional in designing effective collaborative experiences. Authentic, valuable collaboration requires interdependence, accountability, and reflection. The first in that list, interdependence, requires that team members share a common goal and ownership of the project. Everyone needs to contribute in order for the project and team to succeed.
Accountability is key, and individuals need to know their role in the project and agree on deadlines and quality standards. Lastly, group members need to self-assess, both individually and as a group, to evaluate the effectiveness of the product and the process.
I mentioned before that productive collaboration needs everyone contributing. So that means that we need to create inclusive learning and working environments in order for the collaboration to benefit from a diversity of contributors. This might include ensuring that materials and meetings are accessible and inclusive of different identities, and that team members value each other's prior knowledge and experiences.
No matter where we work, we all want to make an impact over the course of our careers. The ideas we've shared here around goal-oriented design, active learning, and collaboration offer you some frameworks to inform how you apply principles of teaching and learning in your own work.